Hello and welcome. I am Bo, and this is the Hawkins Radio Podcast, a podcast I host with my 11-year-old son, Benjamin, because we are crazy about the upside down. We talk all things Stranger Things on this podcast, and if you want to know more about us, visit hawkinsradio.com. But for now, take a minute and listen to episode 2 of the Hawkins Radio Podcast. Well, welcome back to episode 2 of the Hawkins Radio Podcast. I'm joined in the studio, in the home studio. With my handsome little man. I'm just going to call you that from now on. My handsome little man, Benjamin, and I'm so excited to be doing this podcast with you, buddy. Thanks for
making it.
No, thanks for making it happen. You're the one. You're the star of this podcast. So, all right, so we're going to jump right into it. We had a great first episode. We talked a lot about our favorite characters. We asked a bunch of questions. Would you rather, which was pretty fun. We talked about how we were introduced to Stranger Things, which was a great story full of barf and wonderfulness.
And awesome
and
music.
So, yeah, that's true. And then if you haven't checked out episode 1, you can go to our website at hawkinsradio.com and listen to it there. Before we get into these questions, we have to say you need to find us on iTunes and give us a review.
Please,
doesn't matter what you say. Just give us 5 stars and tell us something awesome. Tell us your favorite thing about Stranger Things.
Tell us your favorite character.
Favorite character. Yeah, we don't care what it is. Just hop on iTunes and leave us a review. That would help us out a ton. But okay, that's done with. Now let's jump right into it. We have a list of questions here. Ben and I were racking our brain and saying, what is going to happen in season 2? There's a lot of unanswered questions. If you've been following along with Stranger Things, you have a ton of questions. There's no doubt about that. And we do too. So we decided to throw them out there. Yeah, we're going to throw, we got 10 or so questions here.
Yeah.
We're going to throw them out there. We're going to talk about them real quick. And then hopefully as season 2 comes out here shortly, we'll start to have these questions answered. And maybe we can come back and go through these questions again and see, what if there were answers to our questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a good plan. All right, let's start it out. I'll ask the first question. And this podcast came about because of this question. We were talking about 11.
Yep.
And then I was like, Ben, if her name is 11, she has 11 tattooed on her arm. What happened to the other 10?
That's
right?
Yeah, like,
because I'm sure they just weren't like, oh, we're just going to give you a tattoo. We're just 11 sounds good.
Yeah.
There was obviously a reason behind it. So the big question that I have is, what happened to the other 10?
Did Brenner kill them?
Did he kill them with his, did they do something wrong, or did they die? But yeah, what happened to the other kid? Assuming that they all have powers like 11. Are there 10 other kids out there? Did they die? I mean, maybe we'll have that question answered in season 2. What do you think?
I think that's a good question. I like it. Probably, I don't know.
It would be cool, I'm not going to lie, to get introduced to
10 other 11s.
10 other 11s. Or at least 1 or 2 of them, maybe like 3 is still alive, or 7, something like that. And then we get introduced to these 11 predecessors maybe during season 2. So that's my first question, which is, obviously we don't have answers to these questions, but we hope to as season 2 comes out here shortly. But Ben, you have another question for us.
Okay, so does the upside down give people who visit it, or like willpowers
Not willpower. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Did they give
powers?
Did they give powers to Will?
To Will, or
because he went into the upside down,
or Nancy because she went into the upside down.
But also Hopper.
Yeah, Hopper and Joyce.
And
Jonathan didn't go, I don't think.
No, I don't think he went. And then Barb. We don't. I think that's one of our questions down here. But if Barb isn't dead, I mean, we saw a pretty graphic picture
Yeah.
of her when she was in the upside down. There was,
Yeah.
slugs coming out of her face and everything. But let's just assume for a second that she's not dead and she does come back. Will she have
powers?
Powers. And the reason why I think you brought this up is because in the first season, episode 8, Will, he has that flashback and then he barfs up that slug. I don't know why do we always talk about barf on this
I don't know.
this podcast?
That's just how it came together.
Yeah. And then does Will have powers? That's a great question. All right, my next question is, and this has always been a mystery to me. We know a little bit about the upside down, but when 11 goes, she gets dunked into the tube of water and she has her brain sensor thing on. She goes to that black space, It's just like all black. It's not the upside down. Is it maybe a different version of the upside down, or is it in her mind? I mean, what is it? Do we know?
I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, maybe we'll have the answer to that question as well. What is that black space? I mean, we really don't even know much about the upside down either, but it would be cool to know where it is that 11's going during that time. Next question. Go ahead.
Okay. So besides experimenting with 11 and her special powers, what else goes on in the Hawkins lab?
That's a good question. Do we even know what is supposed to be going on in the Hawkins lab?
Is there are they experimenting with the other 10?
Still?
Yeah.
Experiment? That's a great question. I mean, I think that we have an idea of what the original plan was supposed to be. I think they were supposed to use 11's powers to listen to other countries as like a spy, so that they can detect maybe attacks are going to happen to the United States and so on.
That's
But maybe Brenner is using that. Well, obviously he's using these experiments for other things, maybe.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in the Hawkins lab? We don't know. That's a great question.
Okay, your turn.
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, what sort of deal did Hopper make with Dr. Brenner? Remember at the very end where he wanted to make sure he found Will, so he made some sort of deal with Dr. Brenner, gave up the location for 11 so that they can save Will, and then we find out that at that Hopper he hops in. Ooh, you see that? Hopper hops into the car and something happens.
Is he a bad guy now?
Is he a bad guy? Or
does he work
for Brenner? Or is he playing the good guy, bad guy? Is he trying to find 11? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, I hope we find out in season 2. All right, what's your next question?
Okay, my next question is, why did Will live and Barb didn't survive the upside down?
Oh, why didn't Will survive and Barb didn't? Well, do we know
that Barb
didn't survive? We don't know yet. I mean, we can assume by the looks of her, she's probably
dead.
She's probably dead.
But it also could be that when Will got his body cut open by Hopper and all that foam and stuff, that could be with Barb too.
That's true. I mean, they could do that with Barb. Well, let's say Barb does come back and maybe she died in the upside down.
Yeah.
The Barb that came back, would that be the real Barb? And I guess that kind of breaks into the next thing, is the Will that came back, is he the real Will?
That's a really good question.
We got a lot of questions here. We got a lot of questions and not a lot of answers, just a lot of speculations. But hopefully season 2, we will, I don't know. Hopefully we'll figure it out.
Hopefully find out.
Okay, so my next question is, and you know what? I hate to ask this because I like Steve, but there's some connection between Nancy and Jonathan.
I think so too.
Because at the end she gave him the camera, and throughout there was, she liked him and he definitely liked her. Jonathan is not the average kid. He's a little weird, let's be honest.
Yeah, he's weird.
He's a little weird.
He's shy.
Shy, yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, but kind of a little awkward too. And Nancy seems to like him. And then at the very end, if we remember, after she gives the camera to Will, she goes into the living room. Remember, the dad is snoring, and Steve is sitting there on the couch, and she comes up to Steve and sits by him, and Steve says, "Did you give him the camera?" And she says, "Yeah." And then she looks away,
And then
It's like some sort of weird.
It was weird.
Like she was
looking
cuddled
for
up.
Jonathan after he left.
Yeah, she was waiting for Jonathan, but she was cuddled up next to Steve, and you can see it in her eyes that
she likes Jonathan definitely.
she'd probably rather be with Jonathan.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that we find the answer to that, because Jonathan's a good kid.
Yeah,
You know,
he is.
Steve wasn't the best guy, and he sort of came around to being a good guy. But I'm rooting for Jonathan. What do you think?
Me too. Jonathan's awesome.
We vote Nancy and Jonathan.
Yeah.
True love forever. All right, Ben, what's your next question?
Okay, my next question is, who is Eleven's real father? Because it doesn't look like it would be Brenner, but it might be. Maybe.
I mean, if you think about it, could Brenner be the father to 11? Probably.
Maybe. Or
is Brenner the father to all of the other 11? You know, the 10 that came before 11. Is he the father to all of them? So that poses another question. Does Brenner have some sort of special power, maybe? We don't know. Or, let me throw this out there. Is Hopper 11's father?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah. I don't know, though, because
Sarah.
we know that
Sarah.
His daughter died. Yep.
Yeah.
And, but maybe, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I'll just throw that out there. I don't know. I'm just talking as we go. All right. My next question. In the last episode of season 1, Joyce and Hopper go into the Upside Down to look for Will, and they come across this weird egg thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was like an opened egg shell. It was like a big dinosaur egg.
Could that be like what happened? Like a new Demogorgon, maybe? That's like being born or something.
It could be a new one. It could be the old one. It could be
a different monster.
A completely different monster altogether. Maybe there are multiple Demogorgons,
that's
or
good.
it could be something totally different.
Yeah.
I hope we find out about that maybe in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they haven't really talked a lot about what's going to happen in season 2. I know that there have been some trailers, but we've tried to shy away from that. We don't want any spoilers. We want to just watch the episodes and then absorb all the information and have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of questions that we don't know about, and I hope we find out these answers soon. So last question is, it's an obvious question, but it's the most important question I think of all time. Ben, what's your question?
Okay. Ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. Where's 11? Like, where'd she go?
Where is 11? That's the question. That's the money question right there. We know that at the very end she destroyed the Demogorgon, or at least we can assume, because it disappears and she disappears along with it. But we know that at the very end, Brenner takes the food and the stack of Eggos along the side of the road. Remember, he walks into the forest and he opens that little trap door thing and sticks that stuff inside there. So we can assume, based on what we know about 11 and her fascination of Eggos, that it's probably left for 11. But is she with us here in the real world, or is she in the Upside Down? And does Hopper know if she is in the Upside Down, maybe there's some sort of entrance to the gate?
Does Hopper have special powers?
Or have special powers, or know about more entrances to the gate of the Upside Down? Whoa. We got a lot of questions. And we don't have any answers, and I want to know right now.
Me too.
But unfortunately, we have to wait just a few more weeks until season 2 comes out. I know, bud. It's tough. It's a struggle. But you know what? We persevere because we love it so much. Are you excited for season 2?
I'm very excited. It doesn't seem like it by the way I'm talking right now, but I'm very excited.
I know. No, I can definitely tell in your voice that you're excited. And I'm excited too for the episodes, and then also for hopping back on here and getting your thoughts.
Will there be any new characters?
We don't know. I mean, we can assume that there probably will be.
Maybe, yeah.
We can find out those. Maybe we'll like those characters more than we do. No, it's probably not likely.
No.
We'll probably like them though. All right. Well, that wraps up our question and no answers, because we don't have answers. We just have a lot of questions.
Yep.
And we're excited about season 2. So
we're
going to take off now, and we're looking forward to our next episode, which will be a recap of season 2, episode 1, which we're super excited about. And
we just had to get this one in.
We had to get this one in because we had these questions we couldn't get out of our minds.
Yeah.
And they're still there, to be honest.
Yeah.
And they're going to bug us until we get answers. But we'll leave this with you now. And yeah, connect with us. If you like Stranger Things and want to hear more of the podcast, just hop on to hawkinsradio.com. Leave us a review on iTunes, right?
Please.
Because that's huge. It helps us quite a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, let us know what you think. All right, I'm out.
I'm out too.
All right, we'll see you. Thank you for listening to the Hawkins Radio Podcast. You can find out more about the podcast at hawkinsradio.com.